Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Blazing Dragon. I got a vlog coming today. Just figured I'd start one. Today is Monday, April 1st. More along the lines of April Fools if I wanted to mess with somebody. But anyhow, I wanted to start this vlog with a couple of my arcade sticks of what I currently own, and basically how excited I am about the new Injustice Gods Among Us game coming out for different platforms. Um, Currently, I what's going on over in my world at this current time? I have basically done uh, what I never thought I would ever do before. I've met some new people that I really enjoy playing with on Xbox Live for Black Ops 2. It's an actual clan. We do kind of play a little bit competitive, and there's sometimes of what we don't. We kind of just mess around. Um, the clan of what I'm with is called Cthulhu, and one of the head honchos, or the actual leader, is Xmum. He's one of the guys that I met up with. That's also a YouTube channel user as well. Besides myself, I've met a couple of other members besides him that I really enjoy playing with, and some of them are also YouTube channel users. So if you have never seen Exum's channel, I figured I'd give him a shout out in appreciation for what he's done for me within his shout out. If you don't know how to look for his channel, just look up EXIMUM. I would put up a link up top, but right now I'm just trying to just do a regular vlog, because more along the lines, if I keep putting up text, it's going to take me a while for all the people that I'm trying to give a shout out to. There's also someone else I'd like to give a shout out to, which is GNX Maverick. He doesn't have a lot of views, but he was the one who really got me started in this video capturing project. And we will be doing eventually some retro game reviews, and the only reason we haven't started right now is because we're waiting for him to finish up his office. Once it's done, then we will start up the retro game reviews, starring GNX Maverick, and for me, being along with him, I'd be kind of like the, you know, secondary in command with him. So, otherwise, I've got a couple of other channels if you want to take a peek at, which would be if you want to look at Buckwheat 08, that would be another channel if you want to take a peek at. He's just getting started in making his videos, so if you need to give him some feedback of what what you think he could do to make his videos better or whatnot, please do so. I mean, the more feedback that people help each other out with, the better that they can get making their videos. And I've learned this through the process through a lot of people as well. Um, let's see, some more channels that I would say you could take a peek at would have to be Master of Cthulhu, which I think his Xbox name's a little different, but if you look for him, you might go under maybe, I think Xmum's channel. I think that's where he's located. You can look over there. I actually subscribe to him as well, and he's got some very good Call of Duty content. Um, there's more that I know of, like Marco Polo. That's another one. So if you want to take a peek over at his channel too. Now, just keep in mind, some of the people that I have subscribed to, if you're trying to look for their channel, you can look through them through my channel, and I'll try to get them featured so that way they're easier to find. Also, what else is on the agenda for me? So far, school is going really good. I'm holding a 3.8 GPA average for the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. Um, right now, work's going really well. So here eventually, once the Injustice game comes out, Gods Among Us, I'll probably be playing a lot more of that game, unfortunately. I'll probably put down a little bit of Black Ops, even though I'm getting closer to the Master Prestige. But I'm not going to say that I'm going to quit it entirely for Black Ops. I just want to take a rest on it for a little while, so that way I can kind of focus on uh, how this game is going to play out. The reason why I'm really excited is because, for the most part, the game looks beautiful. Um, they should have a demo coming out tomorrow. And I think it's for Xbox 360 and the PS3. So anybody that is really wanting this demo and you're wanting to try it out, please download it tomorrow. I mean, I'm probably gonna be downloading it myself because I want to get firsthand, uh, you know, how this game's gonna play because it looks beautiful. I like how the environments are, interactive along with the characters, but sorry about that, my mic kind of went down. But I want to see how this game plays because just because the game looks good doesn't mean that the gameplay is going to suck. So I want to make sure that the game itself is going to balance out along with gameplay. If it does, it's going to be a badass game, hands down. With the Capcom community the way it is, a lot of them have said, it's not going to really compete totally with Street Fighter, but I don't know because everybody's got their own personal view of different fighting games. So, with that being said, that's my opinion. I'm not saying by all means that Street Fighter sucks or Mortal Kombat sucks, but I'm just saying that for me, that I basically play any type of fighter. I don't just play one fighter and stick to it 24/7. So, and that's probably why I'm just around the average or above average of player because I don't want to just stick to Mortal Kombat 24/7 or stick to Dead or Alive 24/7. I want to get my hands on every fighting game that I love and love to play. That's just how I am. So if you ever see me play different types of fighting games, that's why. It's not because I don't want to be completely dedicated to the game. It's just because there's so many out there and so many that I really enjoy playing that I want to get, my first dibs and my first playing style to try to, characterize myself in the game so that way I can understand it. But without further ado, what I would like to show you and the reason why I actually reserved the Injustice Gods Among Us Battle Edition. Okay, the reason why I did this is because the arcade stick in that game itself, and I've taken a peek at it, looks badass. I mean, itself is probably going to be the best arcade stick that I have that I can play with any type of game. Now, granted, I do have one arcade stick, and I will show you this first, okay? And it's probably the most expensive arcade stick that I've actually paid for currently as me being a collector. First off, oh, fucking thing is not light by all means. Okay. This here is the Mortal Kombat 9 arcade stick. If I can get it in view here, here we go. Fucking thing's huge. Okay, that's the box in general. I still keep everything kind of in box. Somewhat, make it feel like it's vintage. Kind of nice. But, alright, let me try to unbox this big mother. When I first had this, I was extremely excited. I wanted to see how this thing was going to play. Everything else. And I'll show you characteristics of why this actual arcade stick. It's nice, but there's cons to it. And I'll tell you the cons. Alright, this arcade stick, if you see the design, and that's beautiful. I mean, if you look at all the buttons and how they're arranged, okay, that's the major con. If you look at it as, another arcade stick that you might have like a Street Fighter or, or whatever, or you might have some of the Hori arcade sticks that are, those are some really good ones too. But the artwork and everything around, even like the joystick where the dragon's at, it's beautiful. I mean, it's got a nice glossy texture to it, and it's real hard. Now, the other thing that I really enjoyed about this arcade stick was this, okay? This arcade stick has what's called upgradable parts. You can upgrade every little part that's in this. But the only problem, if you're going to play Mortal Kombat, because I'll tell you the reason why here in just a second. Now, there's a compartment you can put, either cords or whatever you want in here. Now, you also have the cord that attaches from your 360 to the arcade stick, but I have like some 360, you notice, cards that are in there that I've held for God knows how long. There's a cushion on the bottom. Okay, and you can press that in a little bit. I don't think you can see like the cushion marks when I press in, but when it forms into your legs when you press down, okay, it actually feels good when you're sitting here playing it on your lap. Very adjustable, and if you're going to be playing for like maybe 2 hours straight, it's not going to feel so bad on your legs. Because all my other arcade sticks, if I want to put them on my lap, they start to kind of hurt my legs just a tinch because they just feel uncomfortable. But this one feels really good because of that cushion underneath. Now, the reason why this arcade stick does not play very well with any other video game, well, fighters especially. Okay, if you notice, like what is that button? I gotta remember the left trigger, which is right here, and the right bumper, which is right up here. Now, if you're trying to play like Street Fighter, and you're wanting to do maybe like your ultras, good luck, because you're going to have to reach all the way up here in order to do it, if you're having it set up that way. But, like block for Mortal Kombat is right here. So, you kind of have to spread your fingers out a little bit in order for you to get, into sequence with all your buttons. The joystick itself, very maneuverable. I mean, it also goes back to neutral extremely fast. But if you notice how this bounces, okay, now usually any arcade stick that I have, when I do this, it doesn't take that long to go back to neutral. But this one kind of does. So if I do that little number, you hear it going, well, that's why. Because it takes a little bit for it to go back to neutral. So there's a little bit more play into it. But still, the arcade stick in general, I think with the game, DLC, when I first purchased it, was around $200. Okay, so that's arcade stick number 1. Okay, that's probably my favorite arcade stick, even though I can only play Mortal Kombat on it, which fucking blows. I wish I could play other arcade, other arts, or basically fighting games, sorry. Because if I wanted to play, like let's say, I don't know, hell, Marvel vs. Capcom or something like that, it's a little harder to do it with this arcade stick. It's not impossible, but it's very tough. Alright, well that arcade stick's down. I'll move to the next one. Now, this one, I purchased first before any, okay? Mortal Kombat one was actually second out of the bunch. This was my very first arcade stick. But I never learned how to play with an arcade stick until this next one that I'm going to show you. This is Marvel vs. Capcom. This is the Tournament Edition. Okay, I'll get it kind of close so you can see it here. Right there. You probably can't see it very well. Let's go right there. There you go. Tournament Edition. Okay, you can just barely see it. But the artwork in general is pretty beautiful. You got Ryu and you got Wolverine in the front cover. Now, when you open the flaps, this is what you got in the very beginning, okay? So you can kind of see the button layout, how it looks, that type of deal. Now I'll take it out for you so you can see it a little closer. Whee. Damn thing anyway. And yes, I still keep the styrofoam on the sides. That way it just protects it from the corners and stuff. Mainly, I saved this arcade stick later on because my wife likes playing fighting games. So I figured, this would be a good arcade stick for her. But this is what it looks like. You got Mega Man in the corner over here. You got Bison. You got Ryu on the bottom over here. Oops, sorry, right there. Wolverine over here. You got Storm next to him, and then Magneto up above Storm. Iron Man, Hulk. But this arcade stick, now if you notice, see, look at that. When I push down on it, it doesn't do like the other arcade stick did with the little before it decides to go back to neutral. This one goes automatic neutral. I can sit there and hit this thing all day long, and it'll go back to neutral. Okay. The two back and start buttons, which are actually right up top of here, and then you can actually put your cord inside of there. Now this one's actually made, believe it or not, by good old Mad Cats. You know, so I don't know. When I first paid for it, it was around, let me see, I think it was around 150 or 140. 140. I think they were actually bringing it on sale because no one was buying it right off the bat. Where I live, not very many people want to play with arcade sticks. Me, I wanted to get into it really bad. So this was my first. I did play with it, you know, maybe a couple times, if not 3 times. But I had a Street Fighter 4 fight pad, so I was using it a lot before I started using arcade sticks. But that was the one that I first, you know, purchased through GameStop. Now I'm going to move on to the last one, which is the Street Fighter Cross Tekken arcade stick. Now this one was probably 165 with tax, but very beautiful artwork, you know, and I was really impressed with it. I don't have it in a box because this one is actually the first arcade stick, believe it or not, that I practiced with. Because I figured, why not, when I bought the game, start playing with an arcade stick, you know, on a brand new game, because it's going to be easier for me to learn. You know, instead of going off and deciding, yeah, I'm just going to go play other people, you know, because when people are, you know, when everybody else is fresh on a brand new game, that's the best time to actually, for me, to use an arcade stick, because then you're in neutral ground. You're trying to learn all your moves, you're trying to learn all your motions within the arcade stick. Okay, so always remember that. When you get an arcade stick, don't get an arcade stick just because, you know, for looks. I mean, granted, I'm a collector, and that's the major reason I do it. Okay, now if you're doing it for that reason, I can understand. But if you're just getting an arcade stick, you know, just to sit on your shelf, and you're not wanting to collect it, and then eventually you're going to sell it, I mean, there's no use in it. But if you're really wanting to get into an arcade stick, I can suggest to you that it's very important for this, the joystick itself, if it goes to neutral, from you just flicking it around real quick and it goes back to neutral quick, that's what you want. Because when you're playing fighting games, you don't want it to just vibrate forever before it goes back to neutral. Okay, because if you're doing a combo and you have to let go of it immediately and then come back to neutral, then you don't want it sitting there flopping around going back and forth. So the buttons in general, if you notice, they're not modded. They're the stock. Because most of the time when you have a modded button, you won't hear half as much sound from that. So none of my arcade sticks are modded. So if you ever hear me clacking on the buttons, that's why, because it's standard. The other thing about this Street Fighter Cross Tekken arcade stick, okay, itself, I mean, you got all the other characters. This is the Street Fighter Cross Tekken Pro line from when I got it at GameStop at a certain point. But you've got Kazuya, which is over here. You got Nina. You got Ryu, Yoshimitsu. You've got Heihachi, Ken, Cammy, and Guile. Which at the time, there was another arcade stick that I wanted from the Street Fighter Cross. I can't remember which one it was offhand, but if someone has it, you know, as a collector, it's probably the one to keep. But it was kind of a red base, and then it had like the white buttons and the white joystick, and it was a very pretty arcade stick how they had it designed. But this is the only one I could get at that current time, because I think those were limited editions. So you're kind of, you know, should have luck if you wanted to find those, unless you go to eBay and someone's wanting to sell them. That's the only way you're going to get it. Or Amazon or whatnot. But, okay, that's the Arcade 6, guys. I figured I'd show you the ones of what I currently have. Now, when Injustice does come out, I will say that we will be doing an unboxing for that day, and we will be doing gameplay. Now, I don't know if we'll be streaming right away. We could. I'm not going to promise you anything, but if we do, I will be doing gameplay, and anybody who has the game and they want to join, you know, and express their own opinion about the game, what they think, different values, please do so. Hit me up on YouTube or whatever. But or anybody that does have me on Facebook, you know, you can hit me up there and say, "Hey, Dragon, is like, can we go do a stream over on Twitch? You know, I wanna play a little bit. Let's see, you know, let's see how this game plays. You know, just to kind of strut their stuff a little bit before game starts getting really hot to where everybody's starting to learn combos and getting pretty nasty at the game." So I'm excited. Otherwise, anybody who would love to do gameplay of that day of the launch around the 16th of April, please let me know. I will do what I can. I'm not going to promise anything upon streaming that day, but I might do capture. So if we get enough people involved, we will stream. That's guaranteed. But if we don't, you know, we may just capture, still have fun, and we'll have a YouTube video to go along with it. Otherwise, everybody, I'm glad for you to come and, you know, spend your time and watch my video and see what I'll had for, you know, my gaming hardware itself. It's going to increase a little bit more here pretty soon, but otherwise, everyone have a good day. You know, peace out.